England and Fiji, folks, from Twickenham, and Fiji get their first ever win over England away from home a couple of weeks out from the World Cup. I'm pretty stunned. It's like 4 in the morning. I'm going to try and keep my voice down because my kids are still asleep, but wow. Wow, what a game. Unbelievable. England are in kind of all kinds of trouble. And Fiji, they've been great in 2023. I know they lost last week to France, but bloody hell. That pool they're in with Wales and Australia and Georgia is looking very, very spicy right now. I mean, equally England, a bit of a target on their back, but wow. We'll go through some key events and stats as I remember them, and you guys can let us know your thoughts on the game. Penalties each way early. Laws managed to win one at the breakdown in his 100th game. They kicked for touch. Theo Dan in his first start, his lineup wasn't straight, which wasn't ideal. But to be honest, England had the better of the early, phases of the game. They came up pretty well, man. They got the first points on the board, 5 minutes. Fiji offside. George Ford slots a penalty, easy as you like. And then on 8 minutes, scrum advantage. Looks like maybe England's scrum's going to get on top. It doesn't really. There's a bit of parity and penalties each way across the course of the game. But, wide ball, seemingly way too easy. George Ford passes it to Johnny May, who just beats Ravu Tamanda pretty easily. May staking a claim for the World Cup seemingly with that one. Missed conversion, but 8 points to nil early. Fiji looking like maybe last week's loss to France has got a bit of a hangover with them. They're not looking sharp. And then the rain starts to come down. It's really, really heavy rain. And police helicopters flying over my house. Don't know what they're looking for. Fiji struggling with the high balls. And it's looking like this could be a long day at the office, man. For Fiji, maybe wet weather rugby's not going to suit them. Maybe England's kicking game is going to cause them problems. But they're 8-0 down. However, 16 minutes. England offside after a scrum. And Fiji get a penalty. It's like 45 metres. But Caleb Muntz just slots it. Also kind of easy as you like. Had a great day with the boot, the youngster. 8 points to 3. Fiji are on the board. Haven't had that much to play. Good little set. That's a proper good decision and proper great outcome for them. And then Genge conceded a penalty at scrum time on like 22 minutes. So Fiji, you could feel it, were just slowly building a little bit of momentum in the game. I mean, Radradra sat down George Ford on a big attack. I mean, they did end up knocking it on, but you could certainly feel it was way different from the first kind of quarter of an hour, where it was mostly all England. The ball, though, with the rain, it was like a bar of soap, man. It was slippery. There was knock-ons both ways. I think it was a couple of turnovers after like one phase each. And then it looked like, of all of that, the chaos, it looked like Fiji had gotten the best out of it when Ravu Tamanda stepped and put Naya Thalevu into a gap. Looked like he'd go for Fiji's first try, but the TMO found the final pass was forward. So Fiji get one chalked off. But they still kept on with the big carries, man. Matavesi offloaded to Radradra again, who sat down Malins this time. They went 11 phases, but knocked it on. So the momentum's totally shifted. But Fiji are lacking either the final pass, the final carry, or just that that bit of TMO intervention. So not able to get any points for all the pressure. And then they kind of give England an easy back into the game when Maui, kind of a silly kind of grass cutter. I mean, I think he just gets the timing wrong. No arms tackle. England go for touch. They maul it. They go through some phases. They get a penalty. Go for touch again. They maul it. They get advantage. Malins goes close out wide, but they put him into touch. But Maui gets yellow carded for an advantage that they've gone from the initial second maul. So, yeah, Fiji, having had all that pressure, nothing to show for it. Now it's England's time to try and push. 14 men for Fiji, 15 for England. England maul again. This time it stopped. Big moment in the game, that one. I feel like if Fiji don't stop that maul, England go into that second half with obviously a bigger lead, but also just way more confidence that they can kind of bully the Fijian guys up front. But the Fijian forward pack, with a man down, managed to hold. So big key moment in the game, that one. That put us into the sheds at half-time. Run meters is 265 to 175 to Fiji. Fiji's had slightly more ball, but England's had a lot more territory with 59%. Clean breaks is 2 apiece. Defenders beaten those 17-10 Fiji, so they're looking a little bit more dangerous on attack. Turnovers conceded is 9-10, so there's been a bit of loose ball, as I said, with the rain. Semi-round rounder has already clocked up 50 metres, and Willis has already made 12 tackles in that first half. Second half, messy Fijian lineout. Doesn't look like it's going to come to much, but man, you don't have to give these guys much space at all. Radra, he's the one who pops some wide ball to that man, Ravutamanda, who Johnny May kind of made look silly in that first half, and he just gets his revenge. It's absolute just a role reversal. He steps, puts on the gas, and just burns him on the outside. I mean, he's a younger man, and he looked at with that one. Stewart comes across for the cover, but can't quite. Oh, he does quite get him, doesn't he? And he pops it to Nayatha level. So, Fiji are in front, despite the fact that they've got a yellow card. Fiji have still got a yellow card from the first half. So, 8 points England, 10 points Fiji. Fiji are in front and will never relinquish that lead again for the rest of the game. Yellow card finishes after the try not long later. No points conceded for Fiji. They've managed to get themselves 7. But England did start to mount some pressure, to be fair. I mean, this is where, all the talk's going to be about the Fijian tries, but their defence held at kind of key moments. They were able to win a penalty at the breakdown to stop that kind of English pushback and momentum. Fiji's scrum looked to be under a bit of pressure on 51 minutes, but then kind of out of nowhere, and the English defenders will be livid with just the poor reading of the game here, man. Kurivoli pops the ball, and then Habosi from the back of the ruck, there's no one standing there for England, just basically picks and goes, puts the hammer down, and he's able to gas past Earl and Stewart to go up for a great try. But soft, man. Soft from England, but great heads-up play from Habosi. 17 points to 8, starting to look a wee bit hairy for England. Fiji on attack again. England conceded another penalty at the break. I think it was Willis. And then, opt for 3. 20 points to 8. Now it's like panic stations for England. It's gone from like, well, we're chasing the game to, man, we're well behind. We need to score a couple of tries. That being said, Fiji did let the foot off the throat, man. They kind of opened the door for England to come back in with some soft play from the restart. They just didn't catch the bloody thing. Marcus Smith's come on for Stewart at fullback, and George Ford just puts a dink through. Marcus Smith's timing is perfect. They had to TMO it to check that he wasn't in front of the kick, but as soon as Ford's boot hits that ball, Marcus Smith is just tearing after it. He gathers it and goes over for a try. So they've suddenly gone from 20 points to 8 down England to 20 points to 15. It's looking a lot more. I mean, that traditionally you think, okay, England are going to come back and win. Traditionally. I mean, this game is not traditional at all, but traditionally that tells you what should happen. And you're thinking, man, Fiji, why you leave the door open like that? It does get a bit helter-skelter. You get Alex Mitchell tearing down the left wing with a line break, but then as England are starting to build momentum, Chesham knocks it on, then Nayatha Levu has a line break, and Johnny May does show he's still got a bit of gas in the tank. He comes across for a covering try-saving tackle, and then any momentum England get is lost when Alex Mitchell puts in a high tackle. It's a 40-metre penalty for the Fijians, and guess what, man? Caleb Muntz isn't missing anything today. 23 points to 15. Just extends that lead to a little bit more of a comfort zone one for Fiji. But, I mean, Smith, again, it's a great touch for the corner from him. His kicking game certainly brings something different at fullback, just in trying to get the team forward. And he seems to be trying to motivate the team, trying to get these guys forward. Great little dink for touch. And then the Fijian line out in their own 22s it's going to be under pressure, so they throw it long. And it seems like the Fijian ball, the guy who caught the line, and I forget who it was, just gets isolated. Maybe nobody knew it was coming. And then the English guys do well, man. They just flood the breakdown, win a penalty. Not win a penalty, they win a turnover. There's no penalty because the ball's just been turned over clean. England finally get a chance to go some phases. Eventually they cross-kick to Ben Earl, which is a bit of a weird one, but Muntz does well to cover and stop him from being able to just go over for a try. So, yeah, good kind of scramble D from Caleb Muntz. He doesn't get man of the match, but he probably should have been close with his effort, to be honest. Then Fiji on 67 minutes. They get a penalty conceded at the breakdown, and this is the kind of make or break stuff for England. I mean, England go for touch. They're 8 metres out. They get a maul, it gets stopped, they go wide, and then forward. Wide ball to Marchant. It's pretty sweet. Big sideline conversion for George Ford, and he nails it. It's 22-23 with 10 minutes to go. It's absolute theatre, drama. What's going to happen? Which team's going to hold their nerve? Well, as I said, man, interestingly for the World Cup, it's Fiji. I mean, Danny Kerr, as veteran as that guy is, experienced as he is, he catches the restart, and as he goes to kick it, it just kind of fumbles out of his hands. It's just a clean drop. You wouldn't, of anybody who was going to do that, you wouldn't have thought that was going to be Danny Kerr in that situation. England do manage to force a knock-on from Fiji, so it looks like they have held and are going to exit, but they don't find touch. And yeah, guess what? You probably need to find touch sometimes against Fiji just to slow the game down, man, because Fiji run it right back at them. They're able to go through a bunch of phases. Ravo Tamanda is able to just put on that kind of fancy footwork steps again, and he draws like 3 or 4 tacklers. It's just a little bit soft on D. I know he's a danger man, but he's just like a magnet. And then Kuruvoli, with the little pop pass, goes through totally untouched. Great conversion, 30 points to 22. That is the final score. I mean, Fiji are poor on the restart again, but they've got an 8-point lead thanks to Muntz's conversion. And yeah, Fiji hold after 11 phases. Ben Earl gets himself isolated. Matsavesi wins the penalty. And that was pretty much all she wrote, man. England weren't coming back from there. So, wow. I mean, honestly, I think Fiji's defense and set piece, maybe the lineout was a little bit hairy at times, but scrum time was solid. And at key moments, Fiji's defense held more so than just being able to kind of score a try from nowhere. They were a little bit soft in terms of that try they conceded from the restart. Johnny May's one was a little bit of a soft one-on-one tackle, but that can happen. Marchant's one was pretty well worked, but yeah, then they scored some bloody nice tries in return. Run meters finished 348 to 530. That's to Fiji. Positions 52-48 to Fiji. Territory 60-40 to England, but they don't quite have the same X factor on attack. Clean break 6-4 Fiji. Defenders beaten 27-20 to Fiji. Penalties conceded 10-7 England. So they conceded more penalties, and that's a pretty low penalty count this game, to be honest. Maybe that suited Fiji a wee bit better. Alex Mitchell, 32 metres, a couple of defenders beaten. Ben Earl, 18 from 20 tackles, but man, it's all about the Fijian guys. Ravu Tamanda, 2 clean breaks, 8 defenders beaten, 2 try assists. He may have cost that first try, but he still managed to get man of the match. Tangi Valu, the flanker, 15 from 16 tackles. Bill Mata had 60 metres from like 12 carries. Busy effort. But yeah, wow. Fiji. Look out. Wales. Look out. Georgia. Look out. Australia. Look out. World Cup. Fiji's come to play. And England. Man, if this ain't the wake-up call, I don't know what is. Things are not in a good place. This is not the World Cup. This is a warm-up game. And if England go on to any kind of performance at the World Cup, this is going to be pretty soon forgotten. But right now, things are looking pretty dire. Right, so I'm going to go grab myself a coffee because it is 4:30 in the morning. You guys take care of yourselves. Let me know your thoughts on the game. If anyone wants to buy me a coffee, there's links down in the description. Coffee if it's morning, beer if it's evening. But yeah, you guys take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.